It's the weekend. That means no new parts for the Dodge have came in yet. That's a bummer, but that also means we get to work on the 77. Sup guys, Kai with TK Speed Shop, and today we're putting this 5.3 4th Gen LS behind this Turbocharging 350 into this. It's short-tailed flavored, which means everything should work. I told you guys I got a bunch of crap laying around and we need to get something going so we can get this going. Now, I have not 100% considered EFI or Karpsky. I have everything for both. It's a matter of how much do I want to devote myself, because we still got to do a fuel system somehow, some way. Heck, I might do the carburetor and do a boat tank for the time being, just to get it to pop off. We already got the 6014 MSD box. This should be pretty straightforward. Now, I've seen a lot of stuff online with the 75 to 81 mounting pads on these. Now, I'm using ITT billet swap mounts, but for the sandwich area, I got these from UMI. I bought these originally because they're pretty much the same as a big block mounting pad for the big block that we was gonna put in there. But these should bolt onto there, no problemo whatsoever. Just to show you guys, no problemo. So this should be perfect. I do not know how close this is gonna be to the firewall, so we get to experiment. Anywho, enough jibber jabbering. Let's go ahead, get this picked up and dropped into there. Short video, guys. Again, we need this. This is motivation. This is getting us to get with it. You feel me? You feel me? On a side note, we built this 5.3 liter on one of our videos. It was a complete short block to long block budget junkyard build. This is basically what you'll find in like a Silverado, a van, anything like that. What we did do is we tore it all the way down to short block configuration. We put a new oil pump in it. We put a hot camshaft from Hawk's 3rd Gen into it. We tried the Amazon budget oil pan. That seemed pretty good. We had to make a couple little modifications. And other than that, it's a Howdy dual plane intake for the time being, and you know, the 6014 box. We don't got any headers or nothing for this yet because I don't know if I want to plan the plan. Does that make sense? It probably don't make sense. What I'm trying to say is I don't want to spend no money on some long tubes for this if I'm just gonna change it again later. That'll make sense later on in the video. Okay. That looks about right. I hope that's about right. Just a little for good measures, you know. That looks good-ish. Let's hope this puts the dang motor where it needs to be. Oh, why do I feel like that is not the case? I feel like this is not the case. Extra little. Extra little. Ooh. Okay. Now we can proceed. Want to take the time out to say, guys, I really appreciate the love and support I've really got here recently on this. Like, you guys love this. And I'm happy for you because I also love this car a lot. It's just motivation, man, motivation. Okay. Probably help if I move this. Almost like that. Ooh, that wasn't good. Looks like I need to come over this way with it. Okay. Oh, it looks like it kind of belongs in there. Let me show you what we're working with, actually. That might be smart. So right here, that is catching right there, just barely. So this side is good to go. So what I'm thinking is we take the jack. I don't know what kind of angle dangle that gives you. I'm saying we take the jack and we get up underneath this tail housing. And maybe we can do something okay. Now how does that look? Does that give me a little bit more? Not really, but it does give me a little bit more control. Almost. If I can just go back just a little bit more. Well, jacking it up helped me a little bit. Okay, let's see what that did. I don't think that did anything. No, it didn't. It actually probably made it a little worse. See this right here? Barely. Well, you can't see from that angle. Or that angle. Barely. It's barely catching. So, we're gonna alleviate that like any normal human being would do. And now it's in. Okay, so now we gotta figure out how we're gonna get that to be correct. Now, excuse me while I take my auto positioning correct tool. And we're gonna kinda, yeah, that looks about right. I'm gonna take, ooh, yeah, that went all the way through. Nice. Okay. Gonna give that one a couple threads. And we got that one in. Once the head is in the hole, you can't escape me. Okay, maybe you can't escape me, but that's okay. It's like right there. Oh, thank God. Well, that was fun. That's the word we're going to use today. Fun. It's in there. Let's let up off the jack and see what we got. This looks nice. This looks level. This looks good. That is very, very firewally. Very firewally. I will have to agree. I see the issues, but that's okay. The transmission is not rat-a-tat-tatting it, so this is a success. I'm pretty sure the motor is going to go up just a little bit more with the cross member. So, and if not, we can space it, and then we would have to figure out rear end pinion angles. But that looks good. Now, let's see what it looks like with the EFI intake on, just because. See how that snap didn't work? That's because that TBSS intake's not gonna fit on this because of that box I have on the firewall. So I can't reveal to you what it looks like with that. Oh well. But let's talk about some future things real quick. Okay. Extremely sketchy, but it might work. We have to undo something, guys. And this is just us preparing for the future, okay? Oh, man. God, dog. Okay. Now, I probably made that look way more difficult than it needed to be, but I didn't, I promise. That's a good bolt holder. Okay. Okay. Still ain't figured out what we're doing yet. Ah, yes. Beauty. All of this stuff still looks pretty dang good. Here at TK Speed Shop, we can't just leave bygones bygones. You hear me? That's never the correct thing to do. Well, or we can just get some of it right there. Yes, yes. Yes. Interesting. Interesting. You're probably sitting here wondering, what are you doing? Well, ever since we decided to go with this LS-based platform, there's one thing that's missing in our fleet of vehicles. And that is a turbo-powered LS. So, since we're already here, we ought to prep for this, right? Before we snuggle lug all this stuff back up, we got our RTV back in the corners. We need to put this back onto that. Okay. Let me go find my tool for this. My GoPro had died. Anyway. But yes, guys. Now that we kind of got it put somewhat back together, we are going to be running a budget turbo on this. There's my bolt. And whoop, whoop. All the beanie weenies. That should be fine. We went ahead and robbed the sensor out, so we can pretty much hang this up. This would be something that we'll use for a future build. Turbo. So I didn't want to do the oil pan. One, I already got this oil pan on. I didn't feel like doing all that stuff, even though we clearly could have did that. Two, this is cheaper and easier to buy the front timing cover. Now, this timing cover works with the truck pulleys, which this is technically a truck pulley because it's an LS3 pulley. It works, it clears everything, so we won't have any clearance issues. So that's cool. As far as the feed side goes, I should have put this on before we got the motor in there, but it kind of would have ruined the surprise. This is from ICT Billet. It's a little plate. You have these plates down there. So this one is a dual feed line. So we'll be able to run duals if we want to in the future, which we're probably not. We're just gonna run a single turbo. We're gonna cap both of them for the time being because we're gonna run it naturally aspirated. But you can also relocate your oil sensor down here. It can be used for a lot of things oil related. So that's what we're gonna throw on. Not today though. It's self-explanatory. Anywho, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up, guys. That was kind of like the big surprise that I had planned for you is turbo. Now you see why I'm kind of on the fence about buying headers and stuff. Even though we're gonna run it naturally aspirated for the time being, I might check out those cast iron manifolds like the Howdy sells, but they got like the cheap versions on eBay that are pretty much the same thing. I might try those out because I know that we can use those for a future build. So I'm kind of limited if I buy LS swap headers for this because they only work for certain things. So it's kind of like, spend money and use it for like X amount of months and throw it on the shelf never to be used again. It'll probably be used again, but it'll be in the future. I'm more of an in the now kind of guy. So I don't know, but we got it in, it's set, it's pretty. We got wood holding up the transmission. We have to buy a transmission cross member. Unless, again, not your typical Chad has one, if you're watching. So I want to thank you guys for all the love and support, guys. Again, I'm trying to find little things to move this along. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the notification, guys. We just hit 1,300. Yes. So I love you guys. Be safe. It's getting cold. Be sure to have, you know what I'm trying to say. See you in the next video. Man, can you believe it? We're gonna have turbo powered LS. Turbo powered LS. Ooh, you naughty.